himself, God alone, of God just something to pray to or to come to get something from, to remember when you're in trouble, in times of difficulties, when you finally shift from your joy and your spectacles to the place where you fall, maybe fall on your knees and say, oh God, have mercy. Even those who ascribe to be heathens in their hour of peril shout out, oh God. It's in that moment, that God, the God of the heathens, the God that these guys call Christians pray to, that they ascribe to. The God that surpassed the power of their God. Oh God. This is where the psalmist says, God is. And since he has cleared up this business of the isness of God, then he come one more step closer and become personal. He used the first person singular, my. I, my, me. God is mine. You notice he didn't say God is our. He didn't say God of our God, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. None of that. God is mine. The acclamation is made. This is the God that I serve, the God that I believe in, the God that I walk, the God I pray to, the God I walk with, the God that walks with me, that God. What about that God? Well, he says, God is my life. Can see. He's the one that opened up the windows of my understanding so that I can understand that which I see. He is the one that took darkness and dispelled it out of my way so that everything is clear. My mind is clear. My walk is clear. Everything is clear to me because he is in command. He is shadowing over me and has made everything bright to me. And so the psalmist said, he is my light. Can you exclaim? Can you make such an acclamation this morning? The Lord is my light, and because of that, darkness has no dominion over me. And then he continued to say, he put a conjunction there. That means that he locks two thoughts together. Not only is the Lord my light, he said, and what? David, my salvation. Not only is he brightening my path, but he secures me. So as I walk in the path of light, I'm secure. I have no need to look behind. No need to look to the sides. I have no need to look around, but to keep my eyes stayed. You know, the old people used to sing a song. Stayed on Jesus. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed. How many of us can say that even this morning? Even some of us that claim to be Christian, we are super Christians. We are generals in the Christianity. We have arrived. But when we woke up this morning, was the first thought in your mind God? That I woke up this morning with my mind stayed. He didn't say woke up with my mind on Jesus. He said stayed. In other words, when I went to bed, he was in my mind. And so when I woke up, he was still in my mind. How many of us go to sleep because the television put us to sleep. And in the midst of the night, we dream about what the television was talking about. That our horror show that you was looking at. Some of you was looking into nasty things, and some of you was looking at the adventurous things, and some of you was looking into the soap operas, and some of you know where your mind is going. When you went to sleep last night, that thought that woke you up in the middle of the night, no! But had you went to bed with your mind stayed on Jesus. you might have had a dream of being in church shouting and jumping and maybe transiting into heaven, and the Lord have his homecoming and say, come on now. You might not elected to go, but he might have said, come, because if you're transiting and put your foot into his hand, you might have left here last night. Peaceful, joyful. But then you woke up this morning and then you had to clear. You wouldn't stay on Jesus, so you had to clear. Clear your mind and then snatch real quick and raise your hand into heaven and grab hold to pick up the day. Oh, I know you. I said, I ain't never looked at a song like that. I said, oh, this thing here. Listen to this. Not only, he said, now, once I grab that thought and I gravitate to that thought and I have that thought bellowed in my heart, then I can ask this question. You notice that the first statement is finished with a semicolon. And in our teaching, we teach us that the colon, the period above the colon means to stop, analyze, process, take a good look, indulge in what was said prior. And after that, after completing that, you come down to the comma. What do you think about it? Think about what you thought about, what you developed, what you processed. And then, as they said, the cow chews, and he chew the cud, meaning that the cow will chew, and then he will regurgitate that which he had chewed, and then he would suck that up one more time. And then it would be at this final stage, and then he embraced it into his system. Do we ever take that approach with the Word of God? We skim. We skim. You know, they got something they call skim milk. Skim milk is not the pure milk. It's the part that raises up and that part is scraped away. It don't have the balance that it should have. And then some milk is stayed and let it stay there and deteriorate and come into a fusion. And then now we call it two names. Either we call it yogurt. Goes into a different stage. That's a milk that has gone into a different stage. Then it might go into a deeper stage. We call that cottage cheese. Milk in so many different stages. Nonetheless, how is your acclamation? He's making that kind of an acclamation. He's saying that to that degree I'm in the Lord, and since we come to the common hour, we can jump over to the next thought, and the next thought is a demanding question. Whom should I fear? It's not a question with subtlety. Not after what I have observed from the beginning of the verse, being the Lord, the isness of God has me encompassed, and I'm there, and I'm bellowing in him, and so I break out boldly. Who should I fear? I have God on my side. He's enlightening me. He's shadowing me. I'm at the temple of his pavilion. I'm in his hiding place. I'm in his fortress. Who should I fear? Who should I fear? It's like a little kid that was fighting down the street, and then he ran home. And as soon as he ran home and Mom stepped on the porch, he stood beside Mom and put his hand on his hip, on both hips, and said, all right. Why? Because he knows he has help. And all of a sudden he's taking on a mannerism of boldness. Why? Because he knows he got backup. He knows he has the best backup that anyone should have. Because Mom will die for him. And then our Lord extended his love towards us in that he gave his only begotten Son to die in our place. And so the psalmist now is taking on a bold posture, and he said, whom should I fear? In other words, does anybody think they're bad enough or tough enough? Step up. Devil, step up. Imps, step up. Hanks, step up. Noise and pestilence, step up. Whom shall I fear? Are we taking that posture this morning? Are you in that place? Or are you still scared of this COVID? This thing that has now embraced not just the city, not just the state, not just the county, but it's gone into other countries. Watch this. It has encompassed the whole world. And even with that, as God shadows us, as He embraces and opens up the light so that we can see clearly, we should still be able to stand bold in the hisness of God and stretch our head out and say, whom should I fear? You don't have to fear this thing. Folks are scared to come out. They're feared to go to church. They're not afraid to go to the store. They're not afraid to go all these other places that they find necessary to go. And when somebody said that, you said it is not necessary to go to church. But it is necessary to go everywhere else. So that the passage that says, do not avoid the assembly, we has moved that away to the side. He said, we are not to neglect. It said neglect. Isn't that a neglect? Do not neglect the assembly. But that is not necessary. So I don't go there. Yeah, we'll go to the gas station where all these other folks go. I will go to Ram. I will go to you see what I'm saying? How we have determined that God is lesser than everything else that's going on. I will not be amongst the saints, but I will kind of bounce back and forth with the ants. Because COVID's not there. COVID is with the assembly. Isn't that the statement, my brothers and sisters? And if you get offended, go talk to God. Don't call me. Go talk to God. This is your statement. I can't go here. I can go here, but I cannot go to worship. And so what we're saying, without saying it, that at the worship house, COVID is waiting. I know some of you might not click in next week, but that's your business. I'm still going to preach the word. I think I'm preaching the word this morning. I think I'm telling the truth this morning. Yeah, her preacher died. There's a whole lot more folks who died who weren't preachers. Yeah, some saints died. But there's more ain'ts dying than saints. Why? Just the ratio. There's only 6% in the whole world that are Christian. 6%. And out of the 6% that are Christian, how many you got? 94 more percent? So you take the ratio. How many Christians you think dying? You think more Christians are dying than non-Christians? Now, let me put a disclaimer here. I'm not asking you to come. I'm not begging you to come. I'm not even suggesting that you come. I'm just asking you to think. I'm trying to get you into the mood of the psalmist. The psalmist said, if God is all this to me, if He's my all in all and everything, I don't have to fear anything. Especially something that God did not send.
There it is.
And if he sent it, I don't have to fear. Because he didn't send it for me. He sent it to the heathens. Glory. Isn't that what the Bible used to say? Not unless you want a Christian that's so far out of order that God needs your attention. So he needed your attention so bad that he sent COVID for you. Let me get out of your business and continue on, because you don't stop there. A question mark is there. And you would think it would be over. He begins again. The Lord is. One more time. What is he then? The strength of my life. The living that I'm now living, that's what Paul said, or David, Paul said. I'm crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but the life that I now live in the flesh I live through the power of the Son of God who loves me and gave his life for me. The life that I know I now live. He said he gave is the strength of my life. He is the strength of my life. My life void of God has no strength. Void of the Master has no strength. Void of Yahweh has no strength. So if I'm in him, as I say I'm in him, then all my strength comes from the Lord, who made the heavens and the earth. He said he's the strength of my life, and then there's that semicolon pops up again. He said, think about it. Develop it. Process it. You ready? He said, yeah. Let's use the colon, the common end. And then watch what he says. Of whom shall I be afraid? Wait a minute. First, in the first segment, he said, whom shall I fear? The question steadily coming up. Fear, because that's general. Then afraid, then pick anybody. Pick anything, pick any association, pick anything. Should I be afraid of that? Start putting up some names. Should I be afraid of that? Just cross it out. Should I be afraid? Whom should I be afraid in? Fear, incompetent, afraid, individuality. I'm not overhaul, afraid, COVID. I'm not individually afraid of anything. So I can leave the COVID and come back. I'm afraid of heart attack, disease, blood pressures, whatever is consuming my thoughts and my mind and holding me captive, keeping that bond, that chain around my foot where I cannot freely move in him. He said, I cannot be afraid. In totality, if the Lord is all I say he is, fear should not be a countenance. He said that he have not given us the spirit of fear. Not fear, but the spirit of it. The action of fear. The understanding of fear. The nomenclature of fear. He has not given us that. That decision that makes us decide yes or no. He has not given that. He has not given us the desire to make the opportunity to make a decision when it comes to fear. I didn't give you that. That's my department. I need to fight off everything that comes anywhere close or near you that is in my hand. Here the biggie question, it will show, but some die. Well, as far as I can remember, Adam and Eve died. Enoch was translated. Noah, I think he did. Abraham, I think he did. Joseph, Jacob, I think David did, and Peter, and John, and Bartholomew, I think they did. My great-great-grandfather, whom I do not know, never met, never heard of, he did. Great-grandfather did. Grandpa did. My father did. My mother did. What did you say about death again? The Bible told me that it has been given to man first to be born, then to die. And there's one more clause there, in judgment. So before this thing, when the COVID-1 came up, and COVID-2, 3, 4, 5, COVID-6, COVID-7, COVID-8, COVID-9, what's this one is this? 19. You mean that I have lived through 19, 18 COVID? Why am I? I lived through 18 of them. Why am I afraid of the 19th one? Oh, because of the 19th one is worldwide. Well, you wasn't going to take no trip no way. Some of you haven't gone out of your house. And folk dying in the house. Fear. That's what I wanted to talk about this morning. How we have embraced fear to the extent we're afraid to touch our children. You know, our children might have this thing. Cool. I ain't gonna touch my child. I'm not gonna embrace my loved ones. I'm not gonna kiss my wife because she went to the store. I'm not gonna kiss my little baby. My little grandson, when he came to where I said, hey, back up, little, you COVID, little COVID, you. No. So that young fella run in and he recognized Grandpa and he came and embraced Grandpa and somebody would have said, no, don't touch him, you old. And since you old, you got it. Don't spread it to the poor little baby. You see the picture? We need to be scared of God, who can keep our life, our soul, out of heaven and place it in hell because of your rudeness, your evilness, your misdeeds, your disgusting ways. You're not worried about that. You're still cussing, still doing everything else that God don't like, but you're scared of COVID? COVID don't send nobody to heaven or hell. You need to be scared of God if you want to be afraid. The psalmist said, I don't need to be afraid of nobody. Especially God. God is my God. He loves me. He cares for me. He's taking care of me. And if I'm not scared of him, in that sense, I have a reverential fear for him. I don't want to do anything that will upset him. But at the same time, I can't be scared of nothing else. And so there, I need to be bold. I need to put on my old armor and stand. Stand therefore and keep on going. I just want to throw that to you this morning. So many folks calling me about why they can't do this, and you still doing that. And preacher called me and said, you still got your church? You gonna open? I said, open? We never close. Right. Are we going to open? The doors of the church are supposed to stay open. What you mean? I'm going to have some phone calls, y'all. Call me. I pray that you go back now and spend a little time with God and let's ask it one little. But see, the fear that we are passing it on to others. And we're fighting others that's not afraid. We're getting down on folks that's not afraid. Jumping down their neck. Everybody has to see God the way He needs them to see Him. And if you trust God that much, remember one little thing that I came to it, and I know we call it absence in the body if you're born again, present with the Lord. So whether it be that or any other thing that comes up, God got you. And that's why David was able to say, who should I fear? I don't even have to fear death because I'm not even going to see it that way. The Bible said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil because thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So even in the transition of death, be it COVID, heart attack, or whatever, or natural death, I still don't have to fear. My brothers and my sisters, you might have been listening today and you say, you know what? I'm not born again. Some of this stuff is foolishness to those who are not born again. What do you mean? Well, I'm ascribing to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Somebody say I'm a fool for doing that. But foolish as I am, that have kept me out of so many different pits and ditches and so forth. Matter of fact, it picked me up out of a horrible pit and set my foot on a rock. And so I ascribe that way. And so if you have an inkling, you want to think about it, about this born again business. You might even take this opportunity to say, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to believe that you did in fact send your son to die on the cross. And I want to ask you to forgive me for my selfish ways and my thoughts and my misgiving and my deeds. And I ask you to forgive me and cleanse me. The Bible said that your son's blood will wash me clean. Wash me even now. And bring me in to your kingdom. I remember the story of Jesus dying on the cross, the man on the left and the right. Somebody said you have to do all this and that, the other, but the man said, you know what, remember me. And Jesus said, you know what, today you shall be with me in paradise. In other words, there's no rudiments and stuff. You don't have to go do this and that and the other, run downtown and buy a blue suit, come back. You know, I had to dress in all white and go down to the Santa Monica Beach and be dipped down there. You don't even have to take a trip to Jerusalem and get dipped in the Sea of Jordan. All you have to do is confess that Jesus is the true and only Son of God who died on the cross to remit you unto God for the remission of your sin. You know what I found out? Let me tell this extension. Once you was remitted to God, He justified you, glorified you, sanctified you, baptized you, and sealed you. So once that is done, my Bible says you will be kept into that hour when Jesus, who died for you and shed His blood, will take you and present you faultless before His Father. And He will do that with exceeding joy. Don't you want to know Him on today? That God who loves us above all, the God that David was speaking about this morning, who will snatch all your fears away. There's a songwriter that said, who shall take away my sin? Say nothing but the blood. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Who shall make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. You'll be whole. You'll be entirely whole. Father went on to say that he made him, Jesus, to be sin who knew no sin, so that you could become the righteousness of God in him, because while you were yet sinners, even now, Christ died. And so there it is, my brothers and sisters. You can call us if you want clarity. If you want assurance of your salvation, you say, you know what, I'm born again, but I don't know, I'm kind of vacillating back and forth. But the Bible can make that clear. 1 John 5. He said, this is a record. He said, this I've written unto you. He said, those of you who believe in the Son of God. He said, I wrote this to the ones who believe in the Son of God, that you have life. If you have my Son, you have life. If you have my Son, you're born again. He said, that's a record. I've recorded that in a book for you, so that you, whenever that wishy-washy time come up, you can run right there and read that again. He who hath the Son has life. Do you have the Son? Come back to the same question. If you don't have the Son, today is the best day. Matter of fact, today is the first day of the rest of your life. What better day to receive Jesus than today? Why don't you receive him even on today? And if you do, give us a call. You don't have to wait all the way to where you can stop by the local church and tell them, I received Jesus on today. If they try to take you through some loops and loops and stuff, walk out of there. Give us a call. Catch up with us. If you're too far away, we will direct you to a church that's believing God in your area, so that you can study the Word of God and embrace it and be set free. That's my little sharing with you on this morning. I pray that God did in fact touch you and open up the scriptures to you. I want you to be like the two men who were walking away from Emmaus that Jesus ran up to, and they said, "Then our heart burned." Is your heart burning this morning? Do it feel a sense of cleanliness and joyfulness on today? Embrace it. Love it, because he already loves you. Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus, we do declare that you are the only and true living God. We thank you for your Son, Jesus, who gave his life vicariously on Calvary's hill for the remission of our sins. We do give you the praise, honor, and glory even now. We ask, oh God, that you would execute in us the power that is necessary to translate us from foolishness into reality of you, oh God. In the name of your precious Son, Jesus, we do pray and ask it all. Amen, amen, amen. God bless you and keep you. See you on next Sunday. We pray to have something exciting for you. Don't forget, you can get us with us, email us, 800-73